Alrighty, welcome back. So for this section, we're still gonna have to grind through with some technical stuff, slowly but migrating things step by step into Blender. To do so, I need to organize the high poly in certain ways, making sure none of the high poly looks weird when I import them into Blender. I know, let's just skip over this crap and just get it over with, right? Again, it's a necessary step to get the baking to work properly, and it's very important to do this. And the more you prep things earlier on, the smoother things will go later, I promise. So with that being said, let's begin. Alright, so welcome to the next chapter. So before I keep exporting more meshes, let's see what it looks like with the current mesh that I've already exported. Let's see if things will look fine in Blender, the ones that we've got so far. So select all of them and import it in here. So let it happen. Usually what I like to do is make sure export one piece at a time and then import it into Blender, just so that I don't see any issues, because if I do all at once, I'm sure I'm gonna run into some kind of error. But yeah, let's take a look. Yeah, right off the bat, I'm kind of seeing an issue right here. For some reason, the color why did it bring polygroup color instead of the flat like the other ones, right? You don't see the polygroup or the poly paint that I did, but that's something that I'll talk about later. But yeah, all in all, things are looking good. The high poly looks nice and crispy. The problem that I kind of talked about, you can kind of see this part became a little bit too blobby, so that's a bit of a problem, but I think it's fine all in all, just because I'm kind of seeing it from pretty much this view, right, the closest. And if I go in, zoom in this close, sure, it gets very crunchy and all wobbly, but I don't think I'm gonna be zooming in that close to this. Probably this is as close as I'll get to this guy, and still looks pretty good. And a lot of texture ambient occlusion will pretty much fix or help ease those areas as well. So I'm counting on that. But yeah, let's figure out what's going on with this piece right here, right? So I'm gonna go back to the head, and it's this guy right here. So let's just isolate this piece and this piece. Okay, so the dynamic subdivision is off, so I'm just gonna merge visible again. Subtool, merge visible. Okay, so here we have it. This is the piece, and let me just dynamesh this, and then by doing so, weird. Why did it become low polygon? Oh, interesting. Let's just get rid of the geometry, and then yeah, I think that did the trick. Apply dynamic subdivision once again, apply it, get rid of the low. Dynamesh, yeah, there you go. That's good enough. 256. I think it get lower. You don't need this high. Okay, cool. 88K, Z plugin, FBX export. What was it? Head wing, save. Okay, so that's good. So yeah, I think I recommend doing it one piece at a time. I'm gonna delete this piece. Hopefully that did the trick. Import FBX head wing. Let's try. Yep, there you go. So that's that. So yeah, let's continue on with the exports. Next up, let's do something like the leg, shall we? The way I set up the file for this is kind of weird. I have the toes, which if I were to hide it, oh no, that's just the toes. If I were to hide the where was it, foot, yeah, so if I were to hide the foot, there is the leg, and then if I were to hide the hip, there's also the butt leg area too. So I think it will be easier if I just keep this whole thing, the fleshy part, into one folder. So let me do that. Okay, so to do that, and then also just kind of prep the symmetry too. So I'm gonna start selecting the areas that I want. I think that's good, like that maybe. Okay, so that's that, and that's gonna be a new folder. So I'm gonna call a new folder. Yes, and this one should be called leg. All right, so I got the leg, and let me just double check. Oops. Okay, so let's see if I have all in that same folder. Ooh, what? I see. Okay, so yeah, by doing this, it kicked all these other unnecessary ones out of the folder, so that's going to be pretty annoying. So this one, it's okay though. It shouldn't be too bad. This one is leg as well, so it's in the foot. Where are you? So this one. So I'm just going to drag this into leg. Yeah. So now this is kind of like another problem that I need to deal with. Kind of file cleanup, right? Okay, so there's that, and then this will be foot, I think, which is outside. Where is this? So this one's within the foot. Let me just double check if it's okay. Yeah, so that's within here, so which is good. The hip, so I think the hip part came out. Where's the hip folder? I might have got rid of the hip folder. What is this piece, or what are these guys? Yeah, see, these guys are all outside, so I believe the hip folder is gone. Let me just start hiding these. So I'm gonna just have to make a new hip folder again. So to do that, hopefully that's not gonna create any more weirdness to it. So I'm just gonna select all these. New folder, yes. Hip. Okay, so that should have cleaned everything. Sorry, there's gardener outside, so it might be a little loud. Bear with me. Okay, yeah. So anyways, everything is in one folder, and let's try focusing on the leg for now. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to the leg, or the head. Yeah, the leg. Turn this on. Okay, and then turn this one on. Alright, so the way I'm going to deal with this, so this piece right here I've added because it will bake better. The thing about this piece is that we're not going to see it, so it's going to be like this, you know, it's just going to be hidden with just a heavy AO. So because without it, all these pinching is going to be pretty annoying to deal with. This is going to be mirror welded on the other side, mirror welded. Yeah, so I'm just basically preparing this piece, right? All right, cool. So that's good. And ideally, what I also want to do is fill this top part out, but I think it's fine. Yeah, it should be fine. When we make the low poly, we just gotta cover this part up, or not even cover it, but just know where the cut is, and then not make any more models or geo after that. So we got the hip, and what was I gonna do? Oh yeah, merge visible. Let's do that. So merge visible, the good old process, right? So we got this piece, and then let's see. Let's bump up the resolution. Dynamesh. Hopefully that doesn't do anything bad. It's always something weird happening, right? Yeah, this piece, now that I look at it though, this might have a problem. Actually, it's not too bad. It's a little pinching around this area right here, but we'll see. This one, I kind of a little doubtful about the baking, you know, because it's not like a typical T pose, right? It's like a weird sitting, kneeling pose with a lot of kind of pinching areas. So that's what I'm kind of afraid of, but should be able to work it. And some areas, some little funky areas right here, I think it's just gotta do a little cleanup. You know, again, like this is just kind of me brute forcing the fixes. Yeah, I don't know how this little piece came out. probably like when I did the crouch, or when I had her kneel down, the pieces kind of collapse within each other. So stuff like that kind of happens. No, it's okay. This should be not as obvious. Okay. It's a heavy file, so it's 11 milli. See, I think because I didn't cover it, like it's also kind of dealing with the inside of this model. Okay, yeah. I should be getting it good enough. So we got this. Okay, so now again, going through the whole pre-process and decimation process, right? So let me do that. Okay, so Z plugin, decimate. Make sure to keep the polyframe on, pre-process current, and let me skip this part. Alright, so pre-process is complete. For this one, I think since there's not as much detail, I think let me just drop this like 10 or something, and then decimate current. 1 million. Yeah, sure. Let's go with that. Because in the end, like what I could do is also decimate it in Blender as well. So if it gets too heavy, I'm gonna just do some stuff in Blender, right? Okay, so let me export this. I'll call this not leg, right? Okay, so leg FBX, and let's check it out in Blender now, because that's what I want to do. Just make sure everything's importing it properly, instead of doing like a batch import thing, right? Still exporting, I guess. I'll export it. Okay, good. All right, bring back to Blender, file, import, FBX, leg. All right, let's see how it looks. Okay, give it a minute, and yeah, I think it's looking pretty good. All right, let's keep moving on to the next piece. So now let's kind of focus on some of the boring, tedious parts, like these hydraulics and these tubes, pipes, and this like fleshy bits a bit. Well, basically this folder that I made, right, with all these like wirings. So remember how I kind of mentioned that some of these tubes or wires, they're still low poly, because that's something that I want to deal in Blender with the curves, so that I don't need to worry about. These fleshy bits for sure needs low poly. Some of these hydraulics, I believe I could just create one. So for example, I could just make this main big one right here and just kind of duplicate it to some of the pieces that kind of shares that same look. So for example, like this piece right here could share a piece with right here, right? So yeah, I probably just need to make one low poly of this. So yeah, let's just kind of focus on that for now. So let's do this guy. And because it's only one piece, I'm going to well, first of all, let's see. I'm going to delete the lower, okay? Because this is just, yeah. Just make sure there's no subdivision or dynamic subdivision on it. And then just to import with just this one dude, I also need to bring in some random piece. I'm sure there's a better way of doing this. Merge visible, so it spits out this one piece right here. This one? Okay, yeah. Okay, so I'm just gonna isolate, delete this guy, delete hidden. Yeah, okay, so 176,000. And you know what? I don't need this other half too, so I could just probably delete this. Oops, did I? Okay, so delete hidden. So I just need this piece, right, to make the low poly. So 88 is not bad. So I'm just gonna export this, and I don't know, call it hydraulics, hydro 01. Okay. Cool, perfect. And let's go to the Blender again, file, import, just to make sure everything looks okay. Okay, so again, it imported the poly group of this. So I'm just gonna delete it for now, okay? Because I believe the color or the poly paint, the Vertex paint should be fine. Which again, I want to show that later on to the video. Yeah, I think it's good. That's weird how it just exports poly. I think yeah, that's right. I think I have the Z plugin FBX export. When the export option, export poly group as materials as well. So yeah, that's the reason. I could probably turn this off because I need to rely more on the poly paint, not the poly group. It's sending this color, not this color. Okay. All right. So that's that. I don't need this guy, so let's and let's try doing the fleshy bit. The fleshy bit shouldn't be that bad either. So I'm just gonna isolate. It's only two pieces, this piece and this piece. And I believe the color is fine. This part might be a problem. You see how the pinching, like right here. But let's cross our finger. I'm just gonna test it out and see if it will be fine. Alright, so I'm gonna just go merge visible. So we have this piece, 1,425,000, and I think I could just dynamesh this somewhat. 1,500,000. Okay. Z plugin FBX. Let's do our good old decimate using the poly paint. All right. Yeah, I think this might be cool if I learn how to do somewhat of a whatchamacallit, like an animation, like this thing like pulsing, then that might be really cool. That honestly I don't know how to do it, so I probably will have to like look up some YouTube tutorial to just kind of see a way to make this guy pulse. But yeah, it's and this one, like organic pieces like this, should be pretty easy to unwrap to or make a low poly. Just could probably straight up use the decimated model. But I do want to keep all the high poly in Zbrush. Z plugin, preprocessed terrain. Oh, oops. Oh god, why did I? Okay, sorry. If I press escape, I could just escape this. Okay, abort, because I already preprocessed terrain, right? So I just need to do decimate current. There you go, 300,000, and Z plugin FBX export, and I'll call this organic tube. Save. All right, let's check that in Blender once again. File, import, FBX import, organic tube. All right, cool. Yeah, it's looking good. So I think that should cover most of the difficult parts. Although these two aren't that difficult to deal with. Just kind of planning out the idea or planning out the baking for the future. Again, with the fingers, I'm going to separate each pieces. So the hand's gonna be one, this finger joint right here, 2, 3, 4, and then same with this thumb, right? Just this piece and this piece. Oh, and then don't forget, like these little, because I want this hand to be a little more close up. I'm gonna separate these nuts and bolts just because I don't want there to be a weird concavity right there between the little impress and the bolt is going to create an issue later when I do the baking. So yeah, I'm gonna separate those elements too. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I'm gonna just skip ahead and just kind of do the same process of bringing the high poly into Blender, well, decimated high poly into Blender, and then yeah, the next up we're gonna be making low poly version of this guy. So let's do that. All right, see you later. Actually, before I move on to the next chapter with the retop, I thought I'd show one more information. I did mention that, you know, like how do I bring vertex color onto these guys. So if I were to go into the shading, let's say something like the head, right? So under this data, object data property right here, let me just kind of, okay, so there is this tab called color attribute. Okay, so right here, there it is. So all you gotta do is you know, just copy this word, Control C is what I'm gonna do, and then click on its principal BSDF, or I guess you don't have to, but click on attribute and plug in the color, and then just paste the name attribute in here, and then just press enter, and voila, that's how you get the vertex color. So let's try with the body. Okay, so everything is called the attributes, so it's pretty easy. Just all you gotta do is you could also, or you can, or you know, well, let me do one more time. Attribute, paste the name attribute in here, and then color, boom. Okay, yeah, so that's pretty much how you do it. Let me see if I could just copy this whole thing. Copy this node and then just plug it in here. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's all you gotta do. So just paste it into each one of them. Okay, so cool. Pretty much that's it. All right, I'll see you guys in the next chapter.